Greetings and welcome back once again to the Jena Campaign. I am your host as always. Now, let us see how my attempted rear guards are going. It looks like La is falling back. For now, at least. Oof. Still, as in spite of everything, oof. Yeah, there we go. Will take those guns. There's no two ways about that. So all things considered, it remains a painful situation. He's moving up infantry. More cavalry is arriving. Ugh. Let's see. What else is he got? Yeah, there we go. Alright. Can I get these lot out of the way in time? Possibly. Let us place the lead carabinier and what else remains of this lot of cavalry. Unlimber. Place them there. You will go that way. And I'll detach half the squadron of the Polonets to basically try and buy a second for that bunch of guns to escape. Still very unfortunate. These little my stragglers are just doing what stragglers do. Get the guns moved. Now, form line, open fire. As we continue to try and get these boys out of the way. And Shamovsky will go there as well. Muffling. Unfortunately, that gun up there is sort of going to cause me some issues. I could charge him and attempt to displace him out of the way, but I don't think it's worth it. So in this case, muffling is going to just bypass. This battalion under Hohenlohe of the Hohenlohes will go that way. The Sanits will go that way. And I'll basically look to just barge my way through these skirmishers, because otherwise they are just going to cause way too much chaos. I could charge Holzendorf's cavalry, as I said, straight into their cavalry, but I don't think it's going to be at all worth it, for one thing. So, again, if I charge while I'm likely to probably 1, 2, 3, 4, I might win the resulting combat, it's not going to be worth it for me. Not really, anyway. Let's do my guns. Let's do the usual guns. These 6 guns will blast these dragoons. These 8 guns will blast them. Alrighty. Now, going back over here now that the guns are done. Hohenlohe. Let's get you moved. again as I try and reorganise this unholy battered force. Get you moved. I could bring the... yeah, they are going to turn here and rejoin the rest of the division and start doing a nice proper rearguard action. So it looks like I'm going to escape with Tauentzien's division. That much is clear. Falling back bit by bit. Hohenlohe will ride that way because he has to. And then we'll get these boys riding this way. So that they'll get here and be able to provide a bit of a rear guard for Gervert's division. And then these two will start setting up to watch a couple of the roads. Still, this is not... what have I lost? 6,000 men? That's pretty bad for the first engagement. The French have lost about 3. So, not exactly... guns and roses here, but not irrecoverable. Especially with the spirited defence being put up by Prince Louis Ferdinand. They fall back to Louis. Bellavacqua will fall back to there. You fall back. Back. The left flank. They'll extend and lose 13 men in the process, unfortunately. You will go rejoin them and look to pull back to there. You will take up position there to protect their flank from an assault. But now my skirmishers are just going to stay and engage the French skirmishers. Nothing more than that for now. It's just a case of blinking away at each other. And the Württemberg Hussars will go there. Blucher and his dragoons. His hussars are going to get there. And now we'll also wait for the various other elements of Blucher to arrive. Wartensleben, Schmettau. Hopefully Schmettau does not suffer the same fate he did historically, being taken out pretty much right at the start of the Battle of Hassenhausen, aka the Battle of Auerstadt, which is what he suffered historically, as he and the Duke of Brunswick are pretty much taken out of the fighting pretty much at the exact same time. So it causes absolute mayhem. Okay, the guns have been slowed down by passing through the city, which will allow me to do this. So they won't be. So while it's causing an overall slowdown of the column, it will allow me to keep it much more intact. There we go. So Malachevsky's brigade will be the lead one. 24th Infantry Regiment and a couple of battalions of grenadiers. Following him will be Arnim himself with Zenger's brigade, which is more grenadiers, the 22nd Regiment and the 13th Regiment. Followed by the Guards under Herzenfeld, Kuenheim, and then the King's Regiment, Prince August, some more grenadiers, and then all the cavalry. Still, if we're looking at the overall situation here, you can probably tell I've got all my forces converging onto this road to head, or at least all the forces under Brunswick, that is. They are all converging. Well, all except really the Prince of Orange, who's sort of out of the way, as he had to ensure I didn't have a massive ass traffic jam. He had to take a more circuitous route. But with Blucher soon to arrive, probably by maybe 6 or so, yeah, I'd say about 2.5 hours, Blucher will arrive at the battlefield. Maybe not with everything, but certainly with all his cavalry, which will be a massive boon to the battle against Laon. As for Schmettau will let Wartensleben pass. Wartensleben will be the first division to actually come upon Laon, unless there is another route that I wish to take. I suppose I could break him off, Schmettau or Wartensleben, break him off here, and then come down this road to here, and end up sort of on their flank, sort of not. The only other place I can really outflank them would be all the way over here, which forces me to march for ages because there's no real roads leading that way. So I'd either have to cross country or take quite a detour. What about on the other side? Come down here. We would then have to come down that. So that's not practical. We can come down here, but then we go onto this trail between the two villages, which then leads back to the road, which then would lead up the gorge to here. So that's not really practical. I suppose I could break here, come down here. That is a very long-ass way to walk around just to get to, quote, the side of him. Still, it is something to be aware of. I didn't move this lot, did I? So let's get them moved. Swollenf, you're in the lead. Let's get the... Unfortunately, this is where it's going to be difficult to retreat. Unless I do something perhaps a little aggressive. Where's that howitzer of mine? There it is. Let's bring this howitzer battery and place it near Schwarzenbach and use it to sort of try and cover the retreat. It will also allow the retreat of the others. Neumannschild, Reisel, Low, Neumannschild. Yeah, I mean, look what's left of the 1st Battalion of the Xaviers. Completely smashed. Same with the 1st Battalion of the Thumel. They've been completely smashed. Do I try and assault him out of the woods? That is the question, isn't it? And I think I will assault him out of the woods. I know it's going to be costly, but getting him off that road is very much a priority. Hutzendorf. They've got a square there. They will advance. There we go. That should cause a few extra problems. He says knowing full well it won't, but They are actually just going to go back into their battalion at this point. I see no point in keeping them loose. And then they'll retreat that way to Stadroda. That will eventually lead to Jena, that's fine. What's Hohenlohe's command like now, after its losses? Pretty bad. You're intact, you're intact. You are not. The left wing of Hohenlohe has been pretty badly battered. And obviously the advance guard is elsewhere, so... So I think that is going to be that. There's nothing else that really screams, you must do this. At least for the moment. I will send them up there, though, and they'll blink at the battalion in column there. So for now, that is going to be that. So let's push on and do this. This is going to be costly. 16 plus 19, yeah. But I drive them out of that wood. So again, that was bloody 35 men to do it. But those 100 skirmishers are out of that wood now. So let us push onwards. If I can get Gervert retreating northwards as well, I'll be fine. Hohenlohe, while battered, would still have the relatively intact commands of Tauentzien, Gervert, and Prince Louis Ferdinand. Zeikwitz, not so much, but that's fine. So let us push onwards and see what happens. So, I thank you for watching yet another episode. I hope you have enjoyed, as always. And I will see you all next time. So until then, bye-bye for now.